Hello global thinkers, welcome back to Think BRICS, your compass for the multipolar world. The upcoming and highly anticipated BRICS summit is getting closer every day, and in addition to the expectations of the many who, like us, support the vision of a new global order, there are also growing pressure in the opposite direction that aim instead to undermine the process of emancipation of the global south and emerging economies. These days, in fact, both the 5 BRICS countries and potential new partners are invested by a series of political, economic and media activities and a continuous escalation with obvious characteristics of hybrid warfare, a concept we will explain in this video. To move more smoothly along this arduous path and to ensure accuracy, I'll be drawing information from reliable sources of various experts and influential figures in the world of geopolitics. All references to these sources are given in the description to allow you to expand on them if you prefer. Firstly, let's see what is meant by hybrid warfare. The definition says, hybrid warfare is a military strategy that combines conventional warfare, irregular warfare, and cyber warfare with various influencing methods. These methods include fake news, diplomacy, lawfare, and foreign electoral intervention. Think of it as a blend of tactics like a cocktail of conflict aimed at achieving a specific objective. Now let's break down this strategy into 3 key tactics: economic, political, and military. Economic tactics encompass actions such as economic sanctions, trade wars, and financial manipulation. Political tactics involve spreading disinformation, influencing elections, or supporting opposition groups. Military tactics can include direct military intervention, supporting rebel groups, or engaging in cyber warfare. This is where things can get complex with boots on the ground or virtual soldiers operating in cyberspace. According to an article written by Pepe Escobar, a well-known Brazilian journalist and geopolitical analyst, the West is using a mix of economic, political, and military tactics to undermine the BRICS nations. The reason is simple: to maintain their global dominance and prevent the rise of potential rivals. But there is something more. The US is also trying to undermine the BRICS from the inside, targeting so-called swing states like Brazil, India, South Africa, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey. But the stakes are high. In another article, Escobar also argues that the stage is set for a hybrid World War III, a global conflict fought not just with traditional military means, but also with economic, political, and information weapons. Despite the challenges, the BRICS nations are not just passive victims. They are actively resisting, strengthening their economic ties, building up their military capabilities, and pushing back against Western propaganda. This hybrid warfare enacted by the West against various countries, not only of the BRICS group, is a part of a long-standing doctrine containing a series of economic and political actions that often force weaker or isolated countries to yield to external pressures. How all of this is connected to BRICS, you may ask? To find an answer, I'd like to refer to Andrew Korybko, political analyst and journalist, author of Hybrid Wars: The Indirect Adaptive Approach to Regime Change. In one of his recent articles, he suggested that the South Africa's decision to not host Russian President Vladimir Putin for the BRICS summit shows that the BRICS isn't what many of its supporters assumed. He thinks that South Africa's decision was influenced by Western pressure and the threat of sanctions. South Africa is a signatory to the Rome Statute, which obligates it to comply with the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant against President Putin. He also points out that South Africa's decision to not host Putin despite his consistent abstention from all anti-Russian resolutions reveals a significant vulnerability within the BRICS alliance. It shows that the unity of BRICS can be compromised when individual member states face significant external pressure, particularly from the West. The author argues that this incident has exposed the reality of BRICS, which is not a collection of truly sovereign countries united in their goal of changing the world, as many supporters had assumed. Instead, it's a platform for moderately accelerating financial multipolarity processes. As long as the group slowly pursues its goals without challenging or humiliating the West, then no punishment is likely. However, if any member state crosses certain red lines, such as floating obligations under international law, it could face serious consequences. Reinforcing this view comes the ambiguous behavior of India, which lately seems to want to boycott the work of the BRICS. India is playing a significant role in shaping the geopolitical landscape of the Global South. Its actions and decisions affect not only its own future, but also that of other developing countries. Well, India is not only a rising economic power, it is also poised to lead the democratic security of the Global South. But what does this mean, democratic security? It refers to a series of hybrid counter-warfare tactics and strategies that India is employing to protect its sovereignty. But why India? As the most populous developing country in the world and one of the best performing economies, India is already exerting a positive influence on the Global South. However, this leadership role is not without its challenges. George Soros, a prominent figure in finance and philanthropy, declared a hybrid war on India during his speech at the Munich Security Conference. This war, along with other external threats, could lead to destabilization in the region, resulting in coup, regime change, separatism, terrorism, and even armed protest movements. But India is not backing down. It is taking steps to strengthen its democratic security, tightening legislation to root out foreign intelligence fronts and ensuring that no international news organization, such as the BBC, is above the law. Interestingly, India's geopolitical maneuvers have attracted the attention of the West, particularly the Davos Group. According to an article by another leading geopolitical and market analyst, such as Tom Luongo, the West is trying to separate India from the BRICS. But if at the time of this article's publication their tactics did not seem to be working, because India's recent regional elections show that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's influence remains strong. However, after Modi's official visit to the United States in June, some doubt arises. In fact, in the past few days, news appeared on some Moroccan websites, unsupported by any official confirmation though, that Brazil and India would reject Algeria's application for BRICS membership, just as the Algerian president was visiting his Chinese counterpart to find stronger support from China, after receiving it from Russia during a visit in June. Add to this the recent statements by India's foreign minister on the emergence of a BRICS currency, and there are strong fears that India could sabotage BRICS by blocking talks on the creation of this currency. Another controversial information came from Brussels this week. After more than 8 years, heads of state and government of the European Union and the Community of Latin American and the Caribbean states met in Brussels on 17th and 18th of July. Heads of European Community declared that despite some countries have different opinion on the Russia and Ukraine issue, the collaboration to be continued. Could be nothing interesting, but on this summit, Argentina was strictly recommended to postpone its entrance in BRICS. Just to remind you that apart from Argentina, official applications to join BRICS have been submitted by Algeria, Egypt, Ethiopia, and Iran. As a result of so-called recommendations and requests, few days later, Argentina's state-run energy company refused to accept a cargo of liquefied Russian natural gas it had agreed to buy, forcing the tanker back out to sea. We took the decision in the face of international sanctions against certain Russian companies, told Economy Minister Sergio Massa. Says Thomas Pietras, Corporate Affairs Director for Gunvor Group, one of the world's largest independent commodities trading houses, said in an email, Argentina has not adopted any sanctions against Russia. The counterparty had been transparently informed of product origin, pursuant to contractual agreements. Closer we are to the BRICS summit in Johannesburg, as much we understand how complex the world we live in today and how it is important to stay informed. We truly appreciate your open-minded engagement with these complex issues. Our goal is to foster informed discussion and critical thinking. Remember, your perspectives are valuable in this global conversation. If you have found this content insightful, we invite you to share it with your network. Expanding our community will only enrich our collective understanding. Our exploration of these issues is far from over. On the horizon, we have more deep dive investigations and thought-provoking discussions lined up. Continue to challenge assumptions, ask questions, and seek truth in this rapidly changing geopolitical landscape. Stay informed, stay critical, stay curious, and stay with us. Thanks for watching.